Monica Crowley, she has a powerful new op-ed out today in The Hill entitled "Federal Abuses on Obama's Watch Represent a Growing Blight on His Legacy." Now, Monica writes, quote, "In all of the discussions about the political weaponization of the Department of Justice and the FBI, alleged corruption at the highest echelons of those agencies, and serial abuse of the secret FISA process surrounding the 2016 election, one name has been conspicuously absent: President Barack Obama." Here now with reaction, senior fellow at the London Center for Policy Research, Monica Crowley, Judicial Watch's President Tom Fitton, and Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. Monica, let's start with this because, yeah, it's all true, isn't it, that she rigged the primary. Pam can answer this later, but I've never heard of an exoneration months before interviewing the main people in an investigation. That allows her to continue. She pays for Russian government, Russian propaganda. That gets used for a FISA warrant. They don't tell the FISA judge she bought and paid for it, and that it's not verified. That's all in order to disrupt the 2016 election. How does this get to Obama? I think the Susan Rice memo, the Grassley-Graham memo, might be giving us some insight.
Yeah, you know, Sean, we've been talking about the two sort of surface things going on here and the purpose of the weaponization of the DOJ and the FBI in the Obama administration. One was to protect Hillary Clinton from prosecution and make sure she was, in fact, the candidate because she was joined at the hip to Obama. Remember the Benghazi attack. Remember the knowing and repeated communications over her server and by her private email account. So they had to protect her in order to protect President Obama. If she were guilty of committing felonies, then so was he. So they had to insulate her. And the other part of it is, of course, they hated Donald Trump, so they wanted to derail him. But nobody is asking the bigger question as to why. And that's what I tried to get across in this column today at The Hill, Sean, which is that Barack Obama essentially fulfilled the long-held leftist ambition of changing the nation on a leftward trajectory, what Obama himself called the fundamental transformation of the nation.
Well, he had 8 years.
There was no way, right, and there was no way that he and his team and the Clinton squad also was going to allow those 8 Obama years of leftist achievements be reversed by none other than Donald Trump.
Pam, there's zero doubt the evidence in the email server. I've listed them enough times on this program that multiple felonies were committed. But then you have the FBI director and this Trump-hating higher-up individual, Peter Strzok, and his mistress, and then Andrew McCabe. They're talking about insurance policies. So the fix is in.
Right.
You're a prosecutor. Have you ever exonerated or begin an exoneration letter months before you interview the key people in the investigation? It never made sense. And then that all leads to her staying in the race, paying for the Russian lies, and then you go to a FISA court and you withhold information. Isn't that lying by omission to a court?
Sean, it's more than lying by omission. When they go for a FISA warrant, they have to swear under oath that the facts they're presenting the judge are true. And I can't believe that the judge hasn't pulled them back already into court to undo what's happened. It's ridiculous. And a FISA warrant, that's one of the most important things we do as prosecutors, because you are invading someone's privacy. You are wiretapping their phones. You are listening to everything they do. That's why that information has to be pure and clean.
The Grassley-Graham memo says that the dossier was the bulk of information evidence, and so they hand this over. Now, 3 months later, you got James Comey saying to Trump it's not verified and salacious. But it's only a footnote, as we understand it, to the FISA court. It may have political origins. They knew Hillary bought it. They know she paid for it. They knew it was even probably not verified, but they didn't tell the judge.
Yeah.
What should happen now?
Well, the judge needs to bring them back before him. They should all be held in contempt at very minimum for bringing false information to a judge. That's more than lying by omission. They did not give the judge all the facts. I believe it was very falsified what they did. It needs to go back before the judge, and it needs to be wiped out. And everything you always hear us say, fruit of the poisonous tree, it's a very basic law school principle. But everything that came out of that warrant is the fruit of a poisonous tree.
Would that mean General Flynn's guilty plea?
Absolutely.
Out the window?
Everything
100%.
should be. Everything. And I really cannot believe it hasn't been brought back before the judge, now that you've revealed and Fox and everyone has revealed all of these facts. The memo's there.
Tom Fitton, I did see the president tweeting you this weekend. Congratulations. But more importantly, you're digging deep to get, will we ever get a look at how bad this FISA memo was, or the arguments made before the court? Is that something maybe in redacted form we could look at to see what they purposely did not tell this judge that they knew at the time?
Well, we sued for them. There are these dueling memos. The Democrats are going to have their memo eventually come out. And why is it we're relying on this summary document? Let's get the underlying information. I know Nunes is asking for it. We've sued in court for it. And I've told the White House that they should take this approach of extreme transparency on this Russiagate. It does nothing to protect the president from the illicit activity against him, and it protects people like Barack Obama and the Justice Department and the FBI that was misused to target President Trump.
Do you think
Barack Obama, the dossier is central to the Russia collusion theory. It's collapsing, and if it was central to Russia collusion theory, we have reports today, quickly, Sean, Barack Obama was given the dossier. He was given the dossier. What did he know, and why hasn't he been questioned about it?
Well, that's a good point. And the Grassley-Graham letter to Rice today, Monica Crowley, they want to know what was talked about on January 5th and what Susan Rice, a note to self, on just the hours before they leave the White House. Doesn't that seem a little odd, that letter that she's sending out?
Well, yeah, but I mean, look, the idea is shown that any of these people in the executive branch under President Obama, the branch he oversaw, that any of these people, Comey, Lynch, McCabe, the list goes on, Strzok, Page, or that any of these people freelanced any of this without at least the tacit approval of the president and or his White House, really strains credulity here.
All right, let me ask them, Pam, you read this letter, Susan Rice's email she's sending to herself in the waning hours of the Obama administration. How do you interpret it? My interpretation is CYA.
Of course it is. Of course that's what it is. And to say that the president of the United States, Barack Obama, didn't know what was going on is ludicrous. And that's why Monica's brilliant op-ed made so much sense. The fundamental transformation of a nation, that's what then candidate Obama wanted to do to our country. Now it's CYA by all of them. He wanted Hillary elected so he could not only protect his liberal agenda, but also to protect himself from everything that the country would find out that he had done. I don't think one email on the last day is going to cover up all of this. It's a good shot, but I don't think it's going to happen. All right, good to see you all. We appreciate your hard work. When we come back, Ed Henry back with an update on how D.C. is reacting to all the news tonight and more straight ahead tonight on Hannity.